Evolution is to a great extent determined by selection. An individual that is best adapted to the circumstances has a higher chance of producing fertile offspring. In this case, the tallest human has an advantage over the smaller human, because the taller one can grab the apple and eat it, while the small one cannot. In an environment that only exists of apple trees, the small one will starve. So, in this situation, it's beneficial to be tall. However, it depends on the environment which traits are evolutionarily beneficial. Being small can be an advantage in an environment where hiding from predators is very effective.
Selection can lead to evolution when a population is so adapted to its environment that it cannot reproduce with other populations anymore, making it a new species. This can happen in multiple steps, as you can see in the ancestors of humans. Evolution started when life started, but what was the origin of life? We do not know exactly what it looked like, but we know that eventually it evolved into a simple cell.
This cell evolved in 3.5 billion years into the different forms of life we know today, including animals. In the Cambrian explosion around 542 million years ago, the main distinctions in the animal kingdom came into existence. The fossil records formed in the Cambrian suddenly showed enormous animal diversity, which must have been caused by rapid evolution.
The cause of this rapid evolution is not entirely clear. Environmental shifts or a rise of oxygen levels in the atmosphere could have caused this sudden evolution. Predator-prey relations could have caused the high rate of evolution. Natural selection was sped up because the selection pressure was higher, especially when sensory organs evolved. When those organs emerged, predators could locate their prey and prey could locate potential predators. So, for both predators and prey, good senses provided an increased chance of survival. In 542 million years, that resulted in the animals we know today.
In the Cambrian, for the first time, modern-day categories called phyla could be seen. An example is the arthropod phyla that includes insects and lobsters and the red big animal you can see here. All arthropods have an exoskeleton, which is useful as a protection mechanism. Another major new characteristic that evolved was movement. That can be seen from fossilized tracks that the animals made. Moving requires muscles, but it's not entirely known how muscles evolved. That is because it cannot be deduced from the fossils discovered so far. In this picture you can see what arthropod muscles look like. Their muscles are similar to striated muscle in vertebrates. However, since arthropods have an exoskeleton, the muscles are attached to that. Muscles require some kind of coordination to be useful, for example in order to head in a certain direction.
This coordination is provided by cells specialized in communication, neurons. Neurons are most useful in a group, because this way they can communicate with each other. Reflexes, for example, are groups of at least two neurons that can cause a certain reaction on a certain stimulus, such as the patellar reflex. A hypothesis is that first reflexes evolved and gradually became increasingly more extensive, eventually forming complex networks, such as brains. Another interesting question is if neurons evolved once, implying that animals with brains share a last common ancestor. There are different opinions about this. Some researchers claim neurons emerged at different times because there is a great variety in neurons.
We do know that brains are very complicated and that it can be counterintuitive with the second law of thermodynamics. This law states that entropy in a closed system always increases. This implies all matter should tend towards the most probable state, which is usually disorder. However, a brain is far from disorder, but it does not contradict the second law of thermodynamics. That is, because Earth is not a closed system.
The same goes for vinegar and oil, that do not mix but separate quickly. This can be seen as a more ordered state, but it does not contradict the second law of thermodynamics, because this glass is not a closed system. The reason vinegar is on the bottom is that its density is higher, and therefore it is pulled down by gravity, which is a force from outside. A similar story can be told about life on Earth, because this is also not a closed system, as it is, for example, heated up by the sun.